Today we're making a delicious springtime meal with fresh asparagus and a honey lemon Dijon chicken. So let's start by preparing our asparagus. And if you aren't eating asparagus right now, you should be, because it's in peak season. So snap off the end, and that way you get rid of the fibrous part and it's all tender. So that's all, you just go at its natural snapping point. So now we have our trimmed asparagus set to the side, and it's been rinsed already but not dried, and the reason for that is the little bit of water that's clinging to the asparagus will help it cook in the pan. Let's mince up some garlic to go with our asparagus. So now I'm going to put together a little seasoning mix to let our chicken season in there while we cook the asparagus. So we're going to use some garlic powder. It's going to be a really simple seasoning because the sauce that we're making is very strong. So, and some salt. I'm doing about 5 chicken breasts, so I want to add enough salt. Right about there. And then some black pepper. So just garlic powder, salt, and black pepper. Now we'll add a little olive oil to that, the dry seasoning. We've got our seasoning oil ready. We're just going to put in those chicken breasts. And yes, I know this bowl is a little bit crowded, but that's okay. They're all friends. You just want to massage them really good into that seasoning. All right, now these can just sit to the side. Okay, now we're gonna make our sauce. You won't believe how easy it is, and it's so flavorful. Just put a scoop of Dijon, and then a similar size scoop of honey. You'll notice this is not super precise, and it doesn't need to be. It depends on how much chicken you're making and how much you want some sweetness or the tanginess from the mustard. Then we're going to cut up 2 gorgeous lemons. And then juice. So give that a good squeeze. This device for squeezing citrus is so worth it because you get so much more juice out of your citrus. So I highly recommend it, and they're very inexpensive. So now we're gonna just whisk that up. Okay, so we want to sear our chicken right now. We're not trying to cook it through until we cook it in the sauce, but the pan has been heating, so it's pretty darn hot, and we're going to sear it on both sides. You don't want to put your chicken in before the pan is hot, because then it will start to cook the inside, which is the opposite of searing. All right, we're going to give these a turn. Just searing for about a minute on each side. Now it's been a minute on this side, so we're gonna take these off and put them on a plate and set aside and put in our next 2 chicken breasts. Before we cook the lemon honey sauce and finish up our chicken, we're gonna just sear up our asparagus. I've turned down the heat a bit, and I'm just gonna lay all the asparagus in there. Add the fresh garlic over top. We'll give it a little bit of a move around. Make sure it's cooking up. And if you ever want to, help your asparagus along, you can just add a few drops of water to kind of help them steam. You don't want to add too much water, but just a little bit. Add just a sprinkle of salt. I'm going to put in a few drops of water because I want to steam up that asparagus and make sure the garlic doesn't burn, because that pan was pretty hot. So now we've got all those beautiful juices in there from the chicken, and we're going to add our lemon honey mustard sauce and let that come to a boil or a little bit of a bubble for a minute or 2 before we add our chicken. That also kind of deglazes the pan a little. So now our sauce has come to a little bubble, and we're gonna add our chicken back in so that it cooks in that lemon, honey, and mustard. We'll cook them that way for about 3 minutes on each side. All right, it's been 3 minutes on the first side. We're just gonna turn those over. Ooh, and you can see it's getting more of a brownish glaze from that honey. Yummy. Oh yeah. We're gonna go another 3 minutes. This is a nice thing to do at the end, kind of spooning the sauce over. Make sure it's getting all those nooks and crannies and making a nice coating on the chicken. So now I'm just gonna turn off the heat, and I'm gonna put the lid on and let it rest for a couple of minutes before I serve it. Thanks for watching. You can find the recipe in the description.